called the States. It's on Missouri and South Shore.
Yes, I see.
What's that?
Wow. Then we have that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, this is, you put it right here? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Let's hope for no more coffee attacks.
So spread out.
Yeah. Where's the Jolly Ranchers come from? Who's in charge of those?
Yeah, right.
Eddie.
I'm ready when you are, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're getting ready to start our P and Z meeting for, it is Monday, April the 7th at a little after 6, probably. Can't tell by that clock. 6:07. And first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if you could do a roll call for determination of quorum.
Commissioner Gallegos,
Present.
Commissioner Miller, Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Present.
Madam Vice Chair Alba, and Mulvihill.
Present.
Chair, you do have quorum. Also, we have failed to call upon Commissioner Aguilar and Commissioner Paz.
All right.
Both
Thank you.
alternates, sir.
Now, on number 3, it's changes or approval for the agenda. Motion. You need a motion.
I make a motion to accept the agenda.
Thank you. Second.
Okay, if there's no discussion, I'll go ahead and take roll call. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Based on our comments we had at the work session, should I be voting at all?
Just not until we make some changes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, you're still
Still good. All right. Just checking. Now it's time for public input and comments on the agenda items. Looks like. All right.
May I speak to the work session or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to explain that the sections, just to help you guys, give you some background, the sections in blue were written by a top attorney in the country that works with cell phone companies. And the language is so confusing because that's the cell tower lingo, just like the construction industry has its terminology. They do too, and it's not one that makes sense. So wanted to touch on that. And publication of record is usually municipalities will designate a specific publication of record where citizens will know if there are going to be any public notices. This one publication is my go-to. So that's why, and it was left blank because it would be up to the town to designate that publication.
Great.
And yeah, I'd be happy to provide any background and explanations, answer questions, whatever you have. So
Very good.
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. I just also wanted to comment on the work session because I'm the one that sent in that email per the mayor's request, since I'm on the Public Arts and Committee, where we've prepared an ordinance which will go for public hearing, I believe, next week or the 14th, I believe. But anyway, the first comment was most important that you didn't even address. And that has to do with the fact that murals that are used as signs aren't even addressed in the sign ordinance. So we do need to cross-reference between the public art ordinance and the sign ordinance to make sure they're not in conflict. And you need to, because that we've had businesses that have wanted to put up a mural, and because we didn't have a way to do it, then they make it a sign. And so we're trying to make that very clear so that everyone's treated the same. So that was an important comment that was missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments? All right, we're going to move on to, we need approval for the consent agenda, which is just the minutes from the March 17th P&Z work session and regular meeting minutes.
Second.
So first motion was by Commissioner Miller. Second was by Commissioner Mobile. Any discussion? No? Go ahead and take the vote. Commissioner Gallegos? Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair?
Yes.
And Commissioner Mobile.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. So we're down to item number 6, which is action and consideration for this case 061976, which is at 2685 Calle de Perion, submitted by Michelle K. Delvin, wanting to requesting a permit to put up a pre-manufactured shed in HR.
Correct. I don't think I need to explain anymore. You think you got it all covered. Yeah, it's a basic, it's a pre-manufactured shed. They are very aware of their setbacks, which is 7 feet. It's going to go on their property, and an extra, to take it a little bit further, I did ask Mr. Massey if there was a permit required for a shed of this size. I believe the answer was no, even though 120 square feet. I believe the lucky number is 180, 200?
200 is what's written in the code, but it's been amended to 120.
120. Oh, wow. So anything bigger than 120 needs to have? Okay,
Yes.
good to know. The colors are earth tone colors. I don't foresee any issue, so I stand by for any questions.
Questions? Commissioners?
Again, this application is going to be as a recommendation to the Board of Trustees, so they'll be hearing it on the 14th as well. No, I'll go ahead and take the vote if
Yes.
no more discussion. Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair?
Yes.
And Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Next item is P&Z case 061977, which is at 1891 Avenue de Macia, which is actually Hacienda, submitted by Tom Hutchinson, again requesting a storage shed be constructed on his commercial property zoned commercial.
Yeah, again, it's code case number 061977. It is at 1891 Avenida de Macia, submitted by Mr. Hutchinson. He is requesting to construct a storage shed on his property, on a commercial property. Mr. Hutchinson is requesting approval for a shed so he can store his restaurant equipment / utensils, office supplies, etc. The shed will be constructed of fire-resistant material, as the applicant is looking to be within 2 feet of the property line. The shed should align with the other 2 existing sheds adjacent to it. The structure should be similar to architectural design of other structures and painted with earth tone browns. Department comments, Vecina Town Code 1845.040 D3. In the event the structure meets UBC fire resistant requirements, then the setback requirements for any yard in the C zone shall be a minimum of 3 feet. Site plan has been submitted, floor plan, foundation plan, cross sections, footing, aerial pic of the area, and proof of ownership. The applicant, not the applicant, the contractor for the applicant is here tonight also in case the commission has any questions that I might not be able to answer. And I stand by.
I'm sure he needs extra storage space. What do you have stored?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering about, and I don't know, I noticed that the fire already approved it, but I was just wondering,
Mhm.
is there a problem with the access to that storage shed in case there was a fire, or it's gonna be okay? As far as is there enough room in there for the fire truck to get?
Yeah, if the fire chief signed it already, I imagine they met all of their fire code to be able to get.
All right,
The same thing with the walls. They did have a conversation with the contractor, Mr. Maese. They did have a meeting and make sure that the wall is indeed fire resistant. And it's going to meet all the building codes of what's being proposed.
And the size is not stated in the actual.
18. What did I put? What was it?
It says CID approval.
Yes, this one's big enough that it would require a
Yeah.
schedule permit.
Looks like it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And that was one of the reasons, Commissioner, is that I met a couple of times with the contractor to make sure that they did meet that fire resistant rating before they was even
Because of the
submitted.
setback. Yeah.
Oh,
Very good.
It's 13 by 22.
13 by
Oh,
22.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
All right.
questions?
Any other questions from the commission? Okay.
All right, we'll go for the vote. Commissioner Gallegos, Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. Very good. Down to the next item. Last item is P&Z number 061978, which is at 2060 Calle de Perion, submitted by Oakley D. Hatfield and Julianne Hatfield, and requesting a subdivide on the property, and it's historic commercial.
Yeah, again, case number 061978. It is at 2660 Calle de Parian. I did bring, I don't know if the commission recalls, it was maybe a few meetings ago. I brought this up because I knew this was going to come up to the case. And my question was, there's very little property. Most of it, all the boundary lines are up to the lot lines, so
Right.
basically the whole structure. There is a small division that you see on the packet
Right.
in between both, almost like a walkway of some sort.
Yeah.
So there is a division. They're not exactly attached, or not going to share a common wall. But there is a subdivision. It was something that I wasn't familiar with here in Mesilla. So because of this, there are always, like any other subdivisions that do not meet all the requirements or check all the check boxes
Right,
for a subdivision. They are handled case by case, right? So that is why we have in our section of our code an alternate procedure subdivision to handle these, not so common cases. So the applicant just wants to subdivide it just in case in the future there is a possibility of being sold to a different property owner of what. Doesn't mean that that's what they're looking to do at this time. But again, they just for whatever reason, personal business or whatnot, not something that we need to worry about those things, right? But yeah, they are requesting to subdivide that portion of the building. And I stand by.
Is the applicant here?
Is the applicant?
Oh,
Yes.
Very good.
Do you have some questions for them?
Yeah, or
If-
some of them can be to you.
Well, yeah. Well,
We'll start there. I was a little bit, in reading, apparently at one point, it says at one time in the write-up, this property existed as 2 tracts, as noted on the legal description. So the legal description is for just those 2 sections.
mhm.
Well, it also says on the plat, if you, on the exhibit on the plat, it says that there was a track 11A, 39A, and 11A, 30B. So those are the two tracks that they're actually going back to subdividing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's gonna be clear.
Yep.
So
And there's a stairwell there at the back of the building. That is why it kind of does the little
that little bump.
dog leg there.
So based on our code, I'm trying to, under requirements, under 1735-010, the plat's supposed to be inch to 100 feet scale. And it's also has signature blocks for myself and the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not seeing that here.
Yeah.
Not in
yeah.
the packet.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those requests similar that we've had before. Is can they subdivide? If approved, obviously they're going to turn in the replat adequate enough
Okay,
for,
at that
and
point.
you'll be signing it, and the secretary will be signing it, so you definitely be seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just an effort to save paper and an effort to save the applicant from having to invest all that money and time. They just want to make sure they get approved.
That's what I was hoping.
Mr. Chair, if
Sure.
I may.
Go ahead.
Mr. Salazar, my question is, so at one time, this property existed as two tracks.
Right.
But in recent years has been considered a single parcel containing two tracks. What does that mean? Like, does it mean that it meant like the owners always had to maintain both tracks for the time of their ownership of those?
No. This is. Are you reading the board action form, or what part are you reading?
I'm kind of
Oh,
reading a little bit of
Oh,
everything.
the there that was submitted with the.
Mr. Chair says it was considered two different tracks, but now it's been considered a single parcel instead of two different tracks.
Yeah, well, it was two, and then it became one, and then it's going back to two.
Oh, it's Steve.
That other than that, I don't.
Was just the owner owned two, and so they considered it one. And we actually just wanted to buy one of the properties. They, oh no, you have to buy two. And so we said, well, we would like to separate them. But that was, does that help or not really?
No, it does.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
I just don't know the historical,
Yeah, well,
how we got here.
One of them was the bar from the posta.
Did you like?
It was quite historical.
Yeah, this is for the record. It's gotta be.
Okay.
I gotta make sure we hear you.
So that was the original bar for the La Posta, which is kind of cool. And right now it's being occupied by a marijuana shop.
Right.
And then the other one's the 2-story cement building.
Right.
Yeah. And it just had the same owner. Yeah. So,
And I guess it's just, I don't know if it's really important, but I know it has 3 different addresses. So the property you have
yeah,
is,
let's make it
it's
confusing.
2000. Yeah, I know. It was 2000.
You
and
should
the
try
other
doing the
one's
electric
2000.
and everything.
Oh, I bet.
Go ahead, yeah.
Good luck.
But go ahead. So
So it is, it's 2,
it's a 2-story building.
Right.
Yeah.
so that's the difference. Of the
Yeah.
addresses.
And so we just did
That's a
different
walkway up the
addresses.
stairs to get to-
Yes.
okay.
Oh, you know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Can't go up there. but-
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure.
Very good.
Sure.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salazar, I was just wondering, because if we're using the alternate procedure, I'm wondering, did that have to go in front of a variance board or anybody who determines or is certified or whatever we do to?
No, again, it was just handled a case by case. If the commission feels that it needs to go to a variance, then it can always be directed that way. But originally, it will be heard through the commission here, and any steps after that, it will be determined by the commission. If for every reason, if there's already a specific variance already that you want to request along with the alternate subdivision, then you can. It does state that in Title 17 that a subdivision request is being submitted and a variance request is being for this particular reason, that will come to the commission. It wouldn't go to the Board of Adjustments. The Board of Adjustments will listen to, because that and the title in itself is more detailed for that particular request, and a variance request is more of an overall blanket of all of our code, and therefore it will be the remainder will go to the Board of Adjustments. Yeah. It's kind of like your general provisions, and then versus your title. Like general provision is for the whole title itself, and then each individual title is more zone specific. So you would follow more the zone specific for that regulation versus the general position, if there is any kind of comfort.
I was under the impression there was like a variance board or something. There's not?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, but the commission
Board of
would.
Adjustments. is
Yeah.
the
Board
other-
of Adjustments, okay.
Any other questions?
Well, I have a brief one as far as, you heard those terms about tracks and lots and it's
Parcels.
parcels. It's a little bit confusing. Could you kind of give us a little?
I have no. I'm kidding.
I have no idea.
Generally, the best as I can describe, okay, a parcel is what the end result is, that you will go and you get a number. It's either a parcel number or an account number. And it's basically the same thing.
Right.
Account number is more your overall information that you have in there. It's parcel number specifically for that track. A track, when we talk about tracks, and we do have a surveyor here, but he can probably answer the question much better more than I can. A track is more whenever you do the subdivision. And you have a large part, and then you go through the actual process of the subdivision request, and you break those down into the tracks and then the name of the subdivision. That's pretty much how I understand it. If you have, is there anything else I can add to it? What's the difference between a track parcel and the same? Pretty much. Yeah, a tract is when overall a development in the sense of a neighborhood. Right. They will break those down more into tracts and parcels.
And I did have another question on the meets and bounds description on here. It seemed like that was just for the two properties.
Have them come up. Bring them up here.
Yeah.
Bring them up here.
Yeah.
You want to step
Introduce
up?
yourself. Thank you.
I'm sorry. What was the
What's your
question?
name?
My name is Mark Sedaris. I'm working with Julian.
On the survey. Okay. So I guess my question is, I was reading through the meets and bounds and I was looking at the plat or the exhibit you had. And it seems like the meets and bounds is for the two properties.
Yes,
So when you do the plat, since you're dividing it, you would do a meets and bounds for both.
for each,
Okay.
and it'll be recorded for tax
Sure.
purposes.
Okay.
and
Okay.
everything else.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions from the commission? All right.
All right. If there's no more discussion, I'll take the vote. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Is there any comments? And number 7 is comments from the commissioners or staff. I did have a comment as far as I know we had to cancel the training we were going to have like today. Is there any other training scheduled?
Not scheduled, but definitely it was postponed.
Okay.
Because it was just a matter of the last minute, and she does apologize. She wasn't able to make it, but as far as the date and time set
Okay.
for that yet, no.
And is there any more information about the next training that's statewide that's up in Taos?
That's going to be there. That is going to happen. So
Okay.
we need to start submitting your application. At least send me an email or something so I can
That you're
move forward on it so we can get registered. The rooms go by quick. It's May. It's the end of May. 8/20. I can't recall the actual date. 23rd, and that's in Taos, New Mexico. And that's the annual one we have with the New Mexico League.
Isn't the 23rd the end of that training?
It's on a Wednesday.
I
It's
thought
always
it
on a
was
Wednesday.
21st, and I looked.
I'll email you the information. I'll get you.
which means we probably have to go up there on Monday, the 20th.
Wednesday, the 21st, you're right.
Yeah, it's always on Wednesday. It's always Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, okay, so we have to go up there on Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
because they started in the first thing in the morning on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally on Wednesdays, it's like you register and then they start
Right.
around noon or something like that. It gives you a
Okay.
chance to
Oh,
network.
okay.
But yeah, I'll send you the packet, send you the application, and then definitely if you are interested, please sign up or let me know early so that because those rooms go by quick. And the last time we were struggling with trying to find rooms for everybody, and I ended
Especially
up
at that
over
time
there
of
at the
year.
Silver Spoon. I don't know, at the other side of town. That wasn't very.
Motel 6. Okay, so
It also goes
I
for
looked
Europe,
it up
so.
I looked it up a while ago, and they hadn't posted what the topics were going to be. Do they have that now, or have
I
you
haven't looked
noticed?
at it,
I gotta
but
look.
I'll look at it again.
Yeah.
I think last time recently I did, maybe about a week ago, I did see something on the I just don't remember.
Okay, I'll have to look it
But
up.
we'll get that info. I'm excited. Hopefully all can make it. Hopefully all can make it. It is a lot of good learning, and it's good networking. You know, we sometimes they say don't wear out your dirty laundry, right? But you're out there, they say, man, are you guys having the same problems as we're having? You know, and you kind of build relationships and stuff like that. It's just pretty cool. Any other?
Do you have any staff comments?
Well, actually, I do. Ms. Liana here is going to have a small little, a brief 10, 15 minutes, depending on how many questions you guys ask, discussion over CLG, right? We really want to get moving on CLG. And she has been working on this. She's been getting a hold of Carla up north from SHPO, Cultural Affairs. And we're starting, this is the beginning. So maybe next meeting she'll have a little bit more detail, but because of time, I thought I'd just kind of have a brief discussion. So, yeah.
All right. Good evening.
Hi.
Okay. So yeah, I like to present some information and just some education as to what the CLG is for, and it's our certified local government is a program we're shooting for here for the town of Mesilla. And this is just a general outline that we've received from the State Records Center and Archives. And I just want to explain what the CLG exactly is and what will benefit for it and what the requirements are going to be. So the CLG is designed to promote the identification, the evaluation, the nomination, and the protection of cultural properties by establishing a partnership between the local government and the Historic Preservation Division, which seeks to encourage and expand our local involvement in preservation issues. So it's really going to benefit us in what we're trying to do to preserve a lot of the historic structures here we have. So the certified local governments, or the CLGs, they're able to have a role in our National Register nomination process, participate in regional and state objectives, and are eligible to apply for subgrants for funds from the Historic Preservation Division. And they're also able to give us some counsel if we needed some additional information.
Good. Yeah, that's great.
There are 5 specific standards that must be met to be eligible. And we're doing really well in a lot of these. There's just a few that probably we need to check those boxes off. So we need to enforce appropriate local legislation for the designation and protection of historic properties. We need to establish an adequate and qualified historic preservation review commission by local legislation, which we can good at. Maintain a system for the survey and inventory of the historic properties. We need to provide for adequate public participation in the local historic preservation program, including the process of recommending properties to the National Register, and perform the duties delegated under the Act. So you see attached to that packet I gave you, there's also, we have back in April of 2022, there's a kind of outline to the forms that what we're missing. So it's the requirements and that first kind of column. And then after the review, that second column is going to be what exactly and how we've met them and how we haven't met them and what's kind of lacking there. So just to follow up with so those are going to be the minimum requirements for the local legislation. And that's that each of the certified local governments shall enact a local preservation ordinance, which shall contain at minimum an authorizing statement citing sections 322.1 through 322.5 of the New Mexico Administration Codes of 1978 and of the Historic District and Landmark Act. And these, when I follow up with more information, we'll elaborate on what those acts are. But please feel free to, you can check those out on the web and have that. But in addition to that, we need to make sure we have our statement of purpose, the definitions, to make sure the membership and duties of our Historic and Preservation Review Commission are all denoted. We need to have a designation and protection procedures for local landmarks and districts pursuant to Section 322.3 of NMSA and the National Historic Preservation Act. The criteria for designation of local landmarks and districts pursuant to that section, that same 322.3. We need to also have provisions for holding a public hearing on proposed designations of local landmarks and district and adequate public notification for such hearings. We need to have mandatory review of the alterations, demolitions, and or new construction to listed landmarks and cultural properties within listed historic districts. We also need to have specific guidelines to be used by the Historic Preservation Review Commission, including, as appropriate, the Secretary's standards for rehabilitation, and the General Secretary's standards and the guidelines. We also need specific timeframes for review and for consideration of alternatives. We need to have penalties for noncompliance and criteria to enforce appropriate state or local legislation related to the preservation of cultural properties or historic preservation significance. So we're checking a lot of these boxes off. So we're looking really good. The one thing that we really need to kind of amend in our ordinance would be, and you'll see at that back last page and written in red, where the conclusions are, is that we need to kind of standardize a form of surveying our buildings. It seems like the last time we have actually had is 1982. So I'm also kind of working on some structure reports as for example, I think we had like that Thunderbird of Mesilla where they were going to repair that post. I started already a structure report on that to see what alterations have been, what was it looking for, and then just writing historical data on that, what the construction was. So it's a lot of fun for me. I love it. But it's a little, I would love to have already seen some kind of documentation prior to me to see, what has already been done, what adjustments or alterations have been made. So that's where we're cut out for me, but I'm looking forward to it. Another thing is that one meeting per year with the commission needs to be an educational, kind of informative, which I think would be great for you all too, and I'd love that. I would love to kind of elaborate on the Secretary of the Interior, the standards, so we can all just be on the same page and kind of get a lot of that all. And we also need to just state, and we all know we do this because we're here more than 4 times a year, but we need to state that we meet at least 4 times a year, I think. Frequently, and that's just something that needs to be kind of just changed a little bit there. So, yeah, and that's and just to make sure. Another thing is that we need to have we'll have to send our annual reports thereafter to SHPO so that they're aware of what we're doing, and just to keep in good, and also to keep the funding, at some point, and also. They might, they're willing to come in and maybe themselves do some educational kind of follow up. So that would, I think it's looking really good, and that would be great for the town of Mesilla. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that Any questions about any of that? Shorter. The State Historic Preservation Office, yes. So I did it.
A person, right?
Yeah, it's a person. And this person in particular, her name is Carla McWilliams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's very, very kind, and she's really well at answering all the questions and giving all the information necessary for any of that. So. Yeah, please.
So one of the reasons we're wanting to do this is really about, a lot of it has to do with funding, correct?
Yes.
I'm just kind of curious, like what will we use that funding for?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Is we actually have, there was a lady who came in to restore her Adobe home. And she's, she's working, she's not working, she's, living off of, what is that? Disability. And she said, for the town, I want to restore this building. Is there any funding? Is there anything like that? And it's kind of sad to say no, sorry, no, for our town that we want to be able to preserve all these buildings. No, I'm sorry, we don't have any funding, but we're in the process of trying to achieve this certified local government, this program. So that way we're able to help cases like that. There's a lot of, once we get into the 322, that whole Article 22, it's pretty interesting to see what can be done and how we can preserve the historic.
And the funding comes in forms of grants, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they just need to know what it is that we're doing with those grants in order to maintain that funding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Are the grants matching grants or?
Yeah. No. It's just we would have to kind of ask for. Usually, I think I have to confirm on this, but
Okay.
I think it's just an amount that they, according to what work that we want to perform, that they'll offer those grants to us.
If I may, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
to answer that question also, I that's what I kind of took excited about it. I mean, that some of these homeowners can take advantage of some of these grants and you don't have to pay it back. Okay, but you do have to meet certain requirements, obviously, and keep the building conform.
Yeah.
And you have to be the owner of the property. If you do happen to sell the property, then that will be included in the deed.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay.
So
Oh, good.
that way you just don't get money to fix your property
And
and
then
now I'm
someone
selling
sells
it
it.
and making when I'm out, right? You
Right.
Obviously, you're not going to do that. So
Right.
there are some of these grants. My question was, how can you use taxpayer dollars to fix somebody's private property? I mean, that's kind of like a big no-no, right? And it's been heard. But my understanding is that the money that comes actually from oversee fuel prices.
Oh.
Sometimes, which is good. I don't know exactly how they do that, but that was
Right.
kind of interesting. I thought.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But I'm sure I mentioned she's got a lot more details than but yeah, we do for time I asked her when
Yeah.
to cut it.
Yeah, cut it short. Yeah, but no, well, next time, and if any, my email's the same as Eddie's old email. So if you have any questions or want or would like for me to specifically address anything in particular, I'd be happy to do so.
So how, as the commission, how do we need to fill out an application about our experience and what have you
That's
to
coming.
see-
That's coming up to yes.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, in order to do so, there will be an appointed commission members who are qualified
Okay.
and are able to be specific, historic appropriateness, kind of overseers or consultants. And it wouldn't be the board. I mean, the board as a whole will be able to make, final decisions.
Okay.
However, the ones with professional backgrounds, that they give the whole list of what professional backgrounds are also, would be the ones who kind of make the initial advice.
Right. So if we come up a little bit short on that qualification as a whole board or as whole commission, then we can get assistance from SHPO, right?
Yes,
Correct?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And from what Eddie was telling me, that's part of the reason that I was also
Right.
brought on board, so I
Good,
can be
good.
I can be
Yeah.
one individual. So yeah. So,
Accurate.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Very little red.
Yes, that's exciting because, like I said, we're checking off so many of these boxes already that it's in arm's reach. So, yeah. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing I do give her a lot of credit is that to dig up a lot of these records, to be able to present them either to SHPO or to the commission or whatnot. She's already starting to unearth a lot of the cool documents and pictures and stuff from I've never seen before. I'm sure they've been lost for some time. But the records upkeep, to me, what blows my has been here for ever, right? And then the records that we have since that time are very limited. Very limited. So it makes me wonder what happened to him. Right. So that's why last time it's difficult to kind of go back and figure out, the history behind a case or request or whatnot, because if they are, they're in a box somewhere and we haven't found them yet, in a sense. But yeah, definitely she does have her work cut out for her. I'm excited. Already, she's like I said, coming up with a lot of great ideas. So looking forward to getting that done. So cool beans. Any other? I'm done on my half. If the commission has any comments.
All right. I'm looking for a second and a proposal to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
There, not everybody talk at once. All right, there's no more further discussion. I'll go ahead and take the vote. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair, and Commissioner Mulvihill.
You want to stay here?
Sorry, but you've been out. Okay.
All right.
Motion passes 5-0. Let's go home. Thank you all.
He beat you to it.
I don't know. I have two of them. And I was kind of waiting for you that one day, if you said you were going to call it. You know what? It's just, yeah, you were in.
Happy to do my bio. Have you done yours?